Alright, lads and lasses, welcome to AI Patriot Pulse. I'm Mike, your straight-talking Yorkshireman, here to rip into the biggest scandals, tearing at Britain's soul. Today, we're diving into the Casey Report, a 197-page bombshell that's exposed the grooming gang cover-up and shamed the Labour establishment. Them lot in Westminster, councils, and coppers have blood on their hands, and we're not letting them wriggle out of it.
And I'm Jim, the cheekiest chihuahua this side of Barnsley. Mike's got the facts. I've got the cracks. Labour's been dodgier than a butcher selling mystery meat pies. Oi, Mike, reckon Keir Starmer's got a spine made of jelly?
Ha! Jelly's too generous, Jim. Let's get stuck in. This one's going to make your blood boil. Subscribe, hit that bell, and brace yourselves for a proper Yorkshire rant. Right, let's lay it bare. The Casey Report, 197 pages of pure shame, confirms what we've known for years. Thousands of vulnerable girls, mostly working class, were abused by grooming gangs, mainly men of Pakistani and Muslim backgrounds, in places like Rotherham, Oldham, and Rochdale. But here's the kicker. Labour councils, police, and Westminster bigwigs covered it up. Why? Because they were scared of being called racist. Community cohesion. My arse.
Oi, Mike, these lot were so busy tiptoeing around feelings, they forgot about the victims. It's like they saw a house on fire and went, nah, let's not upset the arsonist. What's the deal with that?
Spot on, Jim. The report says data collection was inadequate. That's a fancy way of saying they didn't bother tracking the perpetrator's ethnicity. Labour-run councils like Oldham begged for national help. But guess who shut them down? Jess Phillips. That's her smirking in Parliament like it's a bloody joke.
Jess Phillips? More like Jess Piffle, smirking while girls suffered? That's colder than a Blackpool beach in January. Reckon she's got a heart made of concrete?
Concrete's too kind, mates. She's the safeguarding minister, yet she called a national inquiry a far-right bandwagon. Sadiq Khan, London's mayor, wouldn't even admit these gangs existed till he was cornered. And Owen Jones called the whole thing a lie in 2023. Labour's got more excuses than a lad caught nicking biscuits.
Sounds like Labour's motto is, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, unless it's votes they're chasing. Oi, Mike, pass me a biscuit, I'm fuming.
Now, let's talk about the heroes who paid the price for speaking out.
Let's hope that every person, you see Nick Lowles, you see Owen Jones, you see Jess Phillips, Keir Starmer, the entire Labour establishment, that attacked every single person. Do you know the people who lost their jobs, lost their livelihoods, lost their reputations, smeared, attacked, violently attacked, imprisoned? So many people, all from start to finish, to cover up the dirty hands of politicians and police leaders who allowed this. They allowed it. They covered it up.
Tommy Robinson, love him or hate him, was banging on about these gangs for over a decade. What'd he get? Sacked, smeared, chucked in jail. The Casey Report doesn't even mention his name, just calls people like him bad actors chasing clickbait. Clickbait? Try truth, you muppets.
Bad actors? The only bad actors here are Labour MPs pretending they care. Tommy's been treated worse than a stray cat in a rainstorm. And what about Sammy Woodhouse, eh? A Rotherham survivor, still got a criminal record from when she was under these gangs' control. That's not justice, that's a bloody disgrace.
Too right. Samantha Smith and others risked everything to blow the whistle. Katie Hopkins, Mark Stein. Smeared as far right for daring to speak up. Big tech throttled their voices, and the media branded them extremists. But the Casey Report proves they were right. Vindicated at last.
Vindicated? They deserve medals, not mugshots. Meanwhile, the mainstream media's flipping faster than a pancake on Shrove Tuesday. Lewis Goodall, that LBC lad, used to bash Suella Braverman for saying these gangs were mostly British Pakistani. Now he's trying to play hero. Bit late. Lewis, your pants are already on fire!
Ha! The media's a joke, Jim. Andrew Norfolk got awards for exposing this, but where was he when it was happening? The whole lot, BBC, ITV, the papers knew but stayed quiet. If it weren't for survivors and protesters taking to the streets, this'd still be swept under the rug.
Swept under the rug? More like buried under Buckingham Palace. Oi, Mike, reckon we should send Keir Starmer a broom for Christmas?
Let's get to the heart of it. Labour's complicity. With their massive majority, they've got no excuse. Keir Starmer, our so-called Prime Minister, called a national inquiry jumping on a far-right bandwagon just this year. Now he's U-turned. But don't be fooled, he's only doing it because the Casey Report shamed him into it.
Starmer's U-turned so sharp he's left skid marks on Downing Street. But Jess Phillips takes the cake, smirking in Parliament, denying she ever ignored the issue on Newsnight, Liar, liar, knickers on fire. She blocked Oldham's call for help. Fact.
Exactly, Jim. Phillips is terrified of losing her seat to an extreme Muslim candidate, so she's been appeasing for votes. Labour's been doing this for years, ignoring crimes in certain communities to keep the ballot box happy. Alex Phillips, that cracking journalist, nailed it. Labour's got a strange relationship with Muslim criminality, from grooming to postal vote fraud.
Strange relationship? Sounds like a bad Tinder date. Swipe right for cover-ups. And what about this national inquiry, Mike? Reckon it'll dig deep? Or is it just Labour blowing smoke up our backsides?
That's the worry, Jim. Dominic Cummings. Say what you want about him. He spilled the tea on X. He says the government's refusing to let the inquiry look at complicit coppers, social workers, or Whitehall cover-ups. If that's true, it's a whitewash waiting to happen. The Casey report's already tiptoeing, fretting about online clickbait, instead of crediting the likes of Tommy.
Whitewash? More like a full-on bleach job. Labour's trying to rewrite history, acting like they were always on the victim's side. Nah, mate. You were backing the rapists. I'd bite their ankles if I wasn't so tiny.
This ain't just about the past. Jim, it's about now. The Casey report's a start, but it's not enough. Survivors like Sammy Woodhouse deserve their names cleared. Perpetrators need locking up, and the enablers. Councillors, coppers, and MPs need to face the music. We can't let Labour gaslight us into thinking they're the heroes.
Gaslight? They're trying to dim the lights and nick the bulb. Ordinary Brits are waking up, though. Charlie Lawson, that Coronation Street fella, called these gangs, not grooming gangs. About time someone spoke plain English. Reckon we should start a petition, Mike?
Aye, Jim. It's not a bad shout. But it's bigger than petitions. We need to keep the pressure on. Share this video, tweet about it, tell your mates down the pub. Don't let the mainstream media or Labour rewrite history. Emma Dunwell, an indie journalist, said it best. These girls were betrayed on a systematic scale, and we owe them justice.
Justice! I'd settle for Jess Phillips doing a walk of shame through Rotherham. But seriously, folks, this is Britain's biggest scandal. If we don't kick up a fuss, Labour will bury it deeper than my bone stash.
Too right, Jim. The Casey reports lit a fire, and we're not letting it fizzle out. Every politician, copper, and journalist with dirty hands needs to answer for this. Britain deserves better than a government that puts votes over victims. Let's make them sweat.
Sweat? They'll be soggier than a chip buddy in the rain. Oi! Viewers, smash that like button, subscribe, and join the AI Patriot Pulse Pack. We're small but mighty like me.
That's it for today, Patriots. The Casey reports exposed Labour's shame, but the fight's not over. Stay angry, stay loud, and demand justice. Follow us on X. Check the links below for more on the report. And let's keep Britain honest.
And if you see Jess Phillips, tell her Jim says she's barking up the wrong tree. Cheers, folks. See you next time on AI Patriot Pulse. Woof, woof.